So this is Sofia Mala, riding Royalist for Sweden. Very attractive chestnut. Got judging at E, Jacques Van Daal. At H, Lars Anderson. At C, Eddie Van Wolf. And at M, Clive Halsall. And at B, Tina Tickerum.
Fabulous pronunciation from Mr. West there.
Kakalainen. Swedes are grouping around nicely here, attentively watching on. Not the first horse that's been naughty coming in at A. Or was it yesterday the horse changed the outside and foxed all the judges?
Oh,
Lovely Holton move off.
Vicky.
No, Vicky Thompson yesterday. So other than the blip a day, a really positive entry. And into the extended trot. What do you think of that, Alex?
Yeah, I think it looks nice. It's a good rhythm. It's not gonna blow your mind, but I think you can take many marks away from it. It's got a nice front end.
Lovely frame on the short side.
Little bits of tension from a lot of the horses today after that A end, actually.
A well-positioned left half pass, travelling really nicely through the bend. So here we come up to the first part of the movements unique to the Grand Prix Special, where they pick up the passage, and then they have the transition from passage to extended trot and back to passage.
What I like about this one so far is it doesn't look like she's trying to make it into anything it isn't. She's not asking for it to, she's not pushing out of its balance. She's kind of keeping it nice and conservative, not giving anything away.
You say conservative, there's lovely cadence in the passage. And then we have the same in reverse. Okay, from a different angle, but I preferred the half pass to the left. It seemed to swing more through the half
just
pass.
dropped the pole a little bit this way, didn't it? Not as much engagement. Nice fluent transition there.
He's got lovely lift in his knee. Not quite always matched by the hind leg. One of the differences between this test and the Grand Prix is not only does it test, you know, all of the collection movements, but it also tests the horse's elasticity longitudinally on and back, but also laterally. All of the half passes, including in canter, are steep right across the school. Then we get to the pirouettes, you can see again that on and back is tested. What's the walk looking like, do you think?
Yeah, I think she's doing a really good job of keeping the horse on side. Actually, it's got a nice fluent walk. You certainly couldn't give it less than a 7. You'd probably be looking to give a higher mark than a 7.
See how he picks up the PF. Slight jog into it, very slightly travelling forward, but really willing, really regular.
And she didn't over-egg it. She didn't lose the confidence in the Piast. She kept it nice and forward, I thought. For a higher mark, yes, you put it up more on the spot, but knowing that there's more Piasts to come later on in the test, you'd want to give them a good feeling in the first one.
I think what she's doing really cleverly is not seen one irregular stride out of the horse so far. There was that very tiny blip in the right half pass, and just as she collected from extended walk to collected walk. But otherwise, she's maintaining lovely clockwork regularity. great transition into canter. This is definitely a horse that's got no obvious weak spots. It's beautiful in front. It's a nice shape. He's regular. And he's got a high quality canter. So okay, here we go. So we've got the 2 steep half passes in canter. Arrive just before B. Change.
Oh, a little bit of an early change behind there. Just as I think the horse anticipated the change of bend into the left half pass.
Arrive before H and change. So just like in the trot half passes, that has the horse's bend and elasticity in the half passes right up to the maximum.
Mistake at the beginning of the 2s there, just didn't quite change behind on the first one. But well recovered.
Yeah, check one short stride from right to left somewhere in the middle as well. The 1s. Oh, and she lost the last one. What a shame. Were there 50 now? I always count 2 too many or 2 too few on the changes.
I thought she was on the 15, just with the mistake at the end, unfortunately.
And quite a modest extended
Yeah,
canter.
I'd like to see her go a little bit more, kind of really push that out, because that's one of the movements where you can really maximise the marks just by taking that risk.
But then, of course, here you have at D, whole canter pirouette. Bit wide behind, and then the 9 one-time change, so you have to move the horse on and forward again to make your 1s. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then sit it back on its backside. For G, another pirouette to the right. That's what we call a last-minute piece of collection before a pirouette.
She used the arena as a tool for that pirouette to sit it on its hot.
Yeah, all the judges use as particularly miserable. Set the horse back nicely. A little spook during the collection at F. Again, this horse loves his piaffe passage. It's got a lovely way of going in collection. Picks up the passage beautifully. It's at its most modest in extended work, I would say. Lovely transition to piaffe, dead straight. And of course the 3 judges at the front can't see that it's travelling here.
But she's doing a really good job of keeping the energy on the last centre line. I think she's riding every stride, keeping it really positive.
Just irritatingly, just left his right hind. It's gutting when they do that, but...
Do you know it well, Johnny?
That's definitely a high 60s test. She might even scrape towards 70 for that. We're sitting there looking at the live scoring and seeing if we can piece together how our marks sit.
Pretty unanimous 7s all round for the rider mark.
Of course, we see coming into the dressage, a lot of horses with huge paces, and they're very aggressively shown off in their high points. But you know, if you watch the live scoring of it, you can see how quickly they move from 75 down to 63 or 64. What she did so well was presenting the horse really evenly throughout the whole test. We've got a collision course. The grey, which is Vistoso de Massa for France, ridden by Anne-Sophie Serre. This is the stallion. I'm guessing with the name Vistoso de Massa, and judging by the colour of this horse, there may be a bit of Spanish in it.
A French-Spanish fusion.
shiny helmet there for France with the tricolor draped all over it. Just testing the piaffe as they go round. Yeah, that definitely works. You get all sorts of different things people do outside the arena. Some test the forward, some test the transition, some like to do the bend, some pattern crazily. She tested the piaffe and passage. There's often a supply of sweets in the commentary box, and that seems to be consumed by previous commentators over the course of the show.
Now it'll be interesting to see, because sometimes the Spanish horses you can find actually they get a little bit quick in the rhythm sometimes, where they've got a really good sit. Sometimes they just lack that little bit of push. So it'll be interesting to see if she'll be able to keep a nice cadence through all the work whilst showing off its natural ability to collect.
A lovely jumping canter coming in. Possibly very slightly left his left hind out and a little bit inattentive in the hold. It didn't affect the move off, so a lovely impression as he comes down the centre line. To me, it could have attacked that corner a little bit more, but so she's definitely created an extension, but at the cost of his travelling forward a little bit more, she's definitely kept the cadence in front. But here she's pushing him forward and he creates a lovely impression on the short side. Sets the bend up on the corner for this very steep half pass. And he travel beautifully through that half pass.
Really lovely. She did a really good job of setting that up as well, I think. She kept it on her outside range, she could keep the shoulder up, and away she went.
And then transition to the passage. He's got lovely mechanics in passage, hasn't he? You can tell this is where he's happiest. Again, he didn't quite commit to that in the first couple of strides. What I would say is she does keep the uphill tendency in the medium trots really
Yeah,
nicely.
I think that's what she's probably going a lot, trying to keep that balance more than anything.
I think that's intentional.
She's losing a bit of.
Look at the impression he gives on that short side. He's using every single muscle in his body.
What a cutie!
It's just like me during my morning gym sessions. Not a muscle gets neglected. Work on everything. Now this right half pass is interesting, just like the last horse. For me, it doesn't quite have the bounce and freedom that the half pass to the left had. It looked like she had to maintain the positioning a little bit more. And lovely transition,
really
totally lifted into that. Very attractive bun coming out the back of her hat.
Oh, bun.
What did you think I said?
I won't go into that, Johnny, I don't think.
Again, slightly modest extension into utterly lovely passage on the short side. There he is, using every single joint and muscle.
He really gets the hind leg going in this level of collection, doesn't he? He really uses those
God,
pops.
he's punching, isn't he? All the sponsors they've all complained about the wind, so the sides of the tent have been brought down today. Their lunches were flying, so coming up to this slightly spooky part where the VIP lounge rattles in the horse's face, but he doesn't seem too flustered.
The only thing that extended walk, I couldn't really see from here, but I have a feeling that I would have wanted a little bit more over track there.
It's impossible to see, isn't it? It looks straight and regular from our vantage point. So let's see if the Piaffe is as high quality as the Passage. Straight into it. She's picked it up early.
But good amount of sit.
Yeah, so she was obviously planning for the need to travel forward if necessary, but she didn't need to. She was pretty much able to plant that. Just making that turn. She's looking a little bit smaller in the Passage on the turn, and again, she's picked it up very slightly early. So because he's travelling a half a hoof forward at a time, just gives pretty much the impression of being entirely over the centre line. Really well positioned, yes.
He looks like he's got a nice amount of self-carriage in the Piaffe as well.
How do you tell self-carriage on a hot day? The rider's not sweating. There's no wet patches under their armpits. Nice transition into canter. He's got lovely jumping canter, lovely quickness over. Here we go. Half pass to the right.
Maybe I'd just like to see it a little bit freer. I think a bit of, and it's a very tight angle, but let's see what the left one's like.
You see an interesting. For me, this rider sits better to the left than to the right. Now, whether it's because the horse is stiffer to the right or whatever, but to the half pass to the right, she's very slightly sat to the left.
Just open up that left forward a little bit more. Freer in the shoulder,
but maintain lovely collection throughout. And I think that's what we're looking for in these horses when when they're really able to travel sideways and then be pushed into a slightly longer stride and maintain the self-carriage. Very neat changes, very expressive. But just like in the canter half pass, it would be nice to see covering a little bit more ground in between them. Slight blip at the beginning.
She did the right amount, just unfortunately a little mistake right at the beginning there.
Let's count how many strides it covers MXK. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So that's I would say that's on the modest side for an extended canter, but here we are again coming back for the canter pirouette. I don't get any smaller than that.
That's what you call sit.
Yep, that's on a sixpence. Now quietly into your ones. See how he was raring to go for his ones, and I can imagine that's a little bit why she didn't take too much risk in that extended canter for the left pirouette and then sit it on his arse, and round he goes. Oh well, he loves doing those, doesn't he? I'd prefer the one to the left. It looked like it had more control.
Yeah, I think so. And maybe, I mean, if you wanted to be really picky, you might want a little bit more suppleness to the inside. But I mean, I'd be pretty tough with pirouettes like those.
And of the extended trots he's done, that one looked to flow the most.
A nice transition back at the end. This rider's got a really good ability, I think, to keep everything looking fluent.
Imagine they're fluent in French as well.
Aujourd'hui.
Lovely transition back to Piaffe.
Slightly travelling
Step
left
back
and back, but
yeah. She's trying to correct the regularity through the contact, I think, wasn't she? She was just coming higher on one hind than the other.
not quite square, but a really nice test. I quite enjoyed that one, actually.
The Europeans around us are being very rowdy. Can you see the scores anywhere, Alex?
Let me just check my telephone. So we do have a score in for Sofia Mala for Sweden, and she is on 67.085%, with judge at C having her highest.
Any marks over 70 from the judges for her?
No, they're ranging. Lowest score would be 66.5, and the highest would be 67.9.
So they were pretty unanimous.
All pretty close together there. And I think that's maybe if she'd just taken a bit more of a risk in those extended canters and didn't have that little blip in the ones I think she had, then
it looks like we're getting a provisional score of 70% through.
I think it's quite fitting, really.
Well, some really high quality work. And again, what was interesting is there was no low lights. You know.
Yes, there were things that she maybe could have been braver, but actually I wouldn't have taken anything away.
So his next rider is Manuel Vega. Ben Herder is his horse, riding for Portugal. This dashing grey is Infanta Gelding. Really interesting to see two similar stamps of horse following one another. There was a time in dressage when, you know, any one kind of horse was going to win anything, and it was typically Bay and Warguard. And now in total, in quick succession, one after the other, we have two similar stamps of horse. I couldn't say if one is of one ilk or the other. I don't know the breeding well enough, but similar stamps, similar types. Like the last rider, he's testing his piaffe and passage a little bit on this tour around the edge. Almost dead square holds.
It's got a lot of knee action, this horse. It's coming up a lot in front.
So immediately we can see slightly different mechanics.
Whereas the other one had a little bit more air time, this one maybe has more action, but not quite as much suspension.
And he's also riding the extended trot to make sure he gets maximum activity. Distracted as they come into this left half pass. And he seems to have made the decision to ride it not quite parallel. Just keeping a lot of lift through the shoulders at the expense of it being parallel.
Very fluent, I think. I would maybe just want to see it kind of a bit more over the back at times in that half passes. Just over the centre line, a little bit came against his hand.
Very subtly picks up passage. Nice, really lovely lift. It's interesting with this horse to see, whereas the last horse really could swing and lift, this one has a lot of lift, but I don't feel the back quite swings as much through the work. Very distracted there, checking out the tent moving. Yeah, this is not the fault of the horse. Those, you know, there are horses in the stable block, you know, that are very freaked out by the tents today in the wind.
such a different atmosphere to yesterday as well, where yesterday it was 36 degrees and still and baking hot. Today it's very, very different, a little bit windy and a bit cooler. So it's quite a shock for all the horses, actually.
Let's see how this right half pass compares to the left. She set it up nicely, and it's sitting on the rein reasonably well. So this one, for me, actually has a bit more relaxation and swing to it. The last one, I felt he had to really drive across. That looks amazing.
Yeah.
So he's just swinging, it's starting to swing a little bit more through his trot at times. The thing is, with a horse like this that doesn't quite lift and bounce, to make the distinction between the collected trot and the passage, it's often a distinction of speed and height of legs, isn't it? Hard to see how he picked up the extended trot from just behind there. It looks straight and rhythmical. Yeah, so the mechanics a little bit are covering up for the first half of that short side. The fact that actually there was no elevation. That was entirely knee and hop work.
A little bit tense coming into this walk now. Really coming a little bit against the rider's hand and calling, obviously a bit distracted by everything.
The rider's doing his best to just keep the horse focused down the line to S.
He's riding nice and quietly, reassuring the horse.
And now visible distraction. It's definite whinnies going on there.
It'll be interesting to see how well it picks up the Piaf.
It's done it very early.
To a very good quality Piaf, but unfortunately was a bit early and lacking relaxation. But a great sit and a clear natural ability.
There's huge lift and height to it. So just he starts to collect, there you get the suspension. He has more suspension in Piaf than he has in his Passage. It's very interesting. And there we go, it's a lovely bit of suspension. It just opens out and relaxes. And transition up into canter. You can see him riding very quietly through his seat just to help to get up to his killer area of the thing. This horse does not like the tent.
Again, this seems to be a bit of a nemesis for the horse so far today.
Kept his attention really well on that short side and was able to give off a good impression of the horse. Lovely right half pass, arriving early. Just check out if you can see. Probably doesn't look like they're always coming to the mark of these bits of black tape. They actually note the places where you need to head to on the arena. So he's got to head to H. He's going to arrive at Strada too early, and he'll make the change just with this black tape. Not all riders get the memo about the black tape. The letter's being set back, an optical illusion to head to the wrong place. So into the twos. They're very correct, but they seem to sort of slightly slip through.
Yeah, it doesn't. It looks like he's changing the canter stride a little bit. I'd like to see it looking like it was just all one flowing stride of canter that you just happen to change lead on.
Looking at them in front, they are very expressive. Lovely line there and a pat from the rider. What's interesting with the canter, he's able to ride it that little bit more forward and create suspension. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So it was 15 strides. Remember that last horse was 18. Back to the left pirouette. Very attractive pirouette, but if you look at the size of the circle the hind legs turned on, that was about a metre. The last horse that we looked at, that was a dinner plate.
nice ones.
Just looking again at the size of the circle that the right hind legs travel on. This one had a bit smaller.
And I think that was quite a nicely positioned line, actually. Everything seems a little bit more even on that line than some of the previous ones. Nicely spaced.
Lovely cadence in the trot. It's a really nice extended trot.
I think as the test going on, this one is letting go in its back more, isn't it? So you're getting a little bit more of that flow from the hind leg all the way to the front.
Just see how he lifts. That's it.
Lots of energy in that piaffe there.
And that's what we call a clear highlight.
Yeah.
Lovely square holes.
Horse
He chucked the rein it in, patted it.
Winnie content there at the end. Still no new scores as of yet.
Interesting to see how the marks come out for these horses, whether there's any trace of agreement on the type between the judges. So can you see what that score says, Alex? My eyes are falling.
I want to say 65.
Yeah, so they've. I mean, we saw as it was going through some really high numbers coming up, but equally there are some parts of the test where they wouldn't have been quite able to give such generous marks as they would for, say, the piaffe.
It's got another Frenchman in now.
Now that we're going to struggle with the surname, we're going to go with Alexandra Ayache, riding Zowat. Is okay, so this is a this is going to be a Dutch warm blood.
I think the commentator just said it. Watched earlier, the ones that were slightly older and more experienced definitely coped with the atmosphere better.
Just moving closer to Alex for a better vantage point. Yeah, the rider was quite clever there. The horse went to move off.
Active trot steps actually from this horse straight away. He's got obvious, clear talent and expression.
Lovely scopy extended trot. It stays uphill throughout it. I would say the horse is feeling quite sprightly. Quiet checks through the rein to keep them together and uphill. That horse just travelled uphill as he gets going in it. And then lovely transition into extended trot. He punched into that, which is with a, again, really lovely picture on the short side. Horse using all of his muscles and a lovely lift in the shoulder.
too nice and staccato. It's just bang, bang, bang.
This horse displays more suppleness in the left half.
It's in the trot. It moves quite big. It's very noticeable when that drops away in lateral movements.
Straight into a lovely extended walk. They jog as he comes towards the excitement of the VIP lounge.
Which is quite expensive. Again, once he locks him into it, he's...
Nice relaxed transition. Again, you see him engaging more to the left than to the right, causing him to shoulder one. Of course, in that line, it's quite hard for any of the judges to pick it up. You can see how brittle that transition to canter was.
And a lot of them are anticipating another Piaf.
Exactly right. He doesn't quite have the scope in the canter half passes that he has in the trot half passes, does he?
Yeah, he's just coming a little, he's shrinking in front a little bit and almost cantering the front legs coming back on himself rather than really pushing them out in front and kind of saying, look at me.
It's a good, very high quality commentary skills that we're provided with. Fresh from Linley. Very correct, very straight, just, you know, lacking the today in this wind. A little blip there.
Mistake at the beginning of the ones.
The straight.
Or
again, another rider taking a reasonably modest extended canter, where you've got the
Coming to
tent
the
and the
change.
pirouette. Double horror. Very correct. Really sat, really nicely prepared. Then. And almost made an error, of course. Up the side.
he'll be kicking himself for that. Or the judges give it.
There.
Yeah, it's one judge has gone to a 3 for his extended trot there.
Just a little bit loss of energy. I just regained that well back into the passage. Deviation in the medium trot just threw the horse off its nerve and game.
Oh, so we do have another score through for answer the French rider with the first Spanish horse that we saw.
Another rider for Sweden here. Persangard and Sharma for Sweden. 2004 Games at Athens, it turns out. It's a really positive entry, very forward, collected canter. He made the decision just to ask the horse to remain. No, yes. I think that's 2 movements then. Lovely swing in the left half pass. We were just interrupted being asked whether we want gin or jelly babies.
As well.
A bit late into the medium trot, I'm afraid. I mean, huge bounce in this. Very forward. And into the right half pass. You know, with the blip at the end of the first.
So some of them are being more forgiving of the little blips and some of them aren't.
And there's a lot of activity in that horse's passage, but I mean, he rides it so forward.
More compressed, a little bit. Goodness at the end of the extended walk as he heads towards the VIPs.
You. He's picked up the very early.
Some unsteadiness in the contact.
Went for it and he decided to take it up rather than risk representing and having. So I mean, he sits beautifully and makes a lovely shape through his top line when he does his piaffe.
Because the turns will be helping with that as well, though, won't they? To keep him more compressed.
Just to refresh the horse after.
A little bit down in the shoulder on the corner there into the half pass.
I don't think quite so. Perhaps with the.
See at times, but just loses a bit of and then leads to the mistake at the end of the changes.
Oh, he just caught it there, didn't he? I thought he had to clear salvage that last change well, as it went to go late and run off. 3, 4. They were straight, they were accurate, and they looked 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 6, 7 lovely regular strides around, and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Just lovely work he did there. Was really talented at that. Fine, a little bit late into trot. And off he goes. Bin and Jelly babies have arrived.
Lightly. Keeping the horse on his diagonal aids. Yes, I think that's the best piaffe he did, actually.
Lovely passage here because he's just got that back.
Two riders left to go. Number 27, Manuel Vega.
So just about to present, we have Vasco Mira riding for Portugal on a Portuguese horse. Another of the same sort of stamp of horse that we've had before.
So our penultimate rider in the Vasco Mira Godina with Balear for Portugal. That's Barlock for Vasco Mira Godina.
Very popular colour grey, isn't it, for these Iberian horses today? Sorry for the grooms that have to clean them.
Lovely impression there he gives as he trots off. Lovely suspension.
See again, like the first one.
And a lovely extended trot. Reach on that left foreleg. That half pass is sublime.
Still.
There's a half pass as well. So what I liked about this one, there's a real difference between the trot and the...
Then a transition back. Really lovely. And then off he goes.
And a huge, again, massive sweeping.
Hitting left to right so far.
Yeah, and you...
Yes, a few 7.5
place, according to the live scoring. To extended trot, back to passage. The short side.
Okay, and this can be where a lot of horses of this.
Yeah, with a tiny
little bit of
on
hesitation.
the marker. The horse came and looked down. There you go. Lovely passage. Maintain the horse's concentration.
So unlike the other, I'm still established within it, but
slight couple of glitches in the piaffe, but more due to the tension than due to a frame. Lovely forward collected canter, finds the bend, and off he goes. Swaps mid. A really airy change. Twos. So he starts at M and finishes at K. Should pick up some marks. Again, he's still, well, from what we can see, he's still sitting in first place. These 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 to the pirouettes. Yeah, it's not the best we've seen today. Really forward changes. I mean, you can. Those are almost ridden in medium gear. So that's.
Sometimes it pays off, sometimes it doesn't. But he did a really good job of.
And he's still not throwing any marks away. He's going for every single mark there. And they see a real difference after he comes around the corner. So again, just see how he's
actually
that is the
much better piaffe.
Just trip coming out, but
into a lovely passage. What a good pony, lovely
hold. And he stayed still.
And so far the screen is saying that he is still, all the judges had him on a unanimous age for that final hold. And the rider mark 3/8, 7.5, and just waiting for the last judge.
Yeah, it looks like he might have just drifted into the lead there. So this next horse is for Great Britain. Louise Bell riding Into the Blue.
The jewel of my crown, the wind beneath my wings.
Our last one to go, number 69, Louise Bell with Into the Blue, and also our final passer of the day. So Louise Bell Into the Blue.
That was a pretty good test, and it looks like provisionally it's just shy of 71%. So Louise is going to have her work cut out to beat that. It's interesting. Fun fact about Louise Bell. Most people know this. She was a very successful showing rider. Still is. She was judging showing classes yesterday here at Hickstead, and she's now converted to dressage. And
she saw the light, and it opened up her eyes. She saw the light.
This horse was bred by John Whittaker for show jumping. Lovely square halt. She's really attacking this. You can see already she's opened that trot right out.
And how nice is your horse? Maybe not your conventional dressage horse doing International Grand Prix?
Left half pass.
Little bit of stiffening in the neck, I think there, but
yeah, that's what we call managed left half pass. Lovely cadence, lovely sideways stepping.
She kept it very parallel, so she's not giving marks away that way.
Lovely crisp and transition passage. It's about how she presents the passage and his willingness, his accuracy. Lovely extended trot.
Good transition back. He's got a real good ability to sit, hasn't he, this horse?
She just has to be careful. She gives him time to make the cadence
A little
of the
bit
passage.
of tension there. It just flattens a little bit in the half pass, but
because this is so willing, it's such an electric horse. He's very successful at Grand Prix Dressage. The Special is also tested, of course, in their longitudinal and lateral ability. So it's really taking all of Louise's skill to present him beautifully for this test. So there he's got a really nice bounce because she's just letting him take the passage through and into extended trot. Yep, so this time he's kept the regularity in the passage.
so far so good in the extended walk. Could maybe just, if you were being picky, take the contact out and down a little bit more and really stretch the top line. But I think
very well presented,
tactically ridden, considering the marquees at the end of that line.
Yes, exactly right. Really willing into PF, fixed up really well.
It's a really nice, yeah, really good picture. Really lowering the croup up in front. Clear transition, nice jump in the Piaf.
Yeah, so really positive Piaf and Passage tour so far.
Judges think so too, lots of 7.5s coming for that.
Nice transition into canter. Little pout in the outside rein there. Really nice uphill canter on the short side. Just see with right half pass.
A little bit. Possibly sucking behind her, maybe a little bit in that half pass, but she does a really good job to get that change forward into the left.
Yes, he's doing this lovely left good half pass, very beautifully bent, lovely. A little bit late to the change aid. A little pound the outside hand for the twos. Lovely bounce.
Lovely changes there.
Oh,
mistaken
no,
ones.
I was about to say how straight they were and I didn't want to jinx it.
Oh, that's a pity. Still being very... Oh, and a sign blew over in the middle of her extended cant there, which is unfortunate.
It's Dynamo Bell just took off there.
But did a good job of getting her back in that corner, actually ready for this canter pirouette. Good job.
Yeah, really nice inscribed pirouette. She starts a little big and then she turns inside herself. Really clever.
well managed once. She just kind of got him a little bit more through in the neck before she came into those, so we couldn't block her in the leg.
Oh, very neat counter pirouette. That's
Yeah,
on the money.
A little bit flat to the trot. She's off.
Lovely extended trot.
Yeah, she is going for it. Oh, nice few gusts of wind coming now.
Really lovely elevation in passage.
Super transition into the piaffe there.
He actually lifted into that.
Yeah. She's got a smile on her face coming into the halt. Lovely. Whoop, whoop.
So well done to number 6.
And that's the end of the class.
Wide showing community here. That's the end of the Grand Prix Special.
And then a couple of 8s coming in for her hold.
Grand Prix Special, and also our final competitor of the day. That concludes all competition.
And that's that.
Let's thank my judge E, Jack Van Dam, and H, Lars Anderson. I don't see Eddie Landvall, Van Vettero, M, Ryan Horsell, and a B, Tina Cartelainen. Also a big thank you to all of our writers, our arena party stewards, and of course our score collector. We now go straight into the first mounted prize giving for the Intermedia 1 car. This will be for Oren Mogart, Carl Hannon, Daniel Watson, Nicola Buchanan, Louis Brisbane, and Alice Oppenheimer. We're going to get this underway very shortly now.